Hi guys, welcome to Quality Thought once again. So let me continue the reactjs session. So in this video I am going to talk about two things. Two topics I am going to cover. The first one is what is the difference between Angular and React. Then after that I will be explaining to you how reactjs works internally. So these are the very important topics which we need to cover, and these two topics even important for interview. Assume that when you are going for an interview, so in interviews I have seen many company people will ask these two interview questions. So the first one I want to give you differences between Angular and React. See, let me write one side Angular and one side I want to write React. See, Angular is a product of Google. So, product means, you know, a technology in IT industry is known as product. A language in IT industry is known as product. A database in IT industry is a product. A tool in IT industry is a product. So, Angular is a product of a Google company, whereas React is a product of Facebook, or you can say nowadays Meta. Next is what here, when Angular came into the existence. Angular was released on October 2010, and React was released on May 2013. So first Angular came, then React came. Next is Angular is a open source JavaScript framework for web and mobile development. It means whenever if you want to create a web application or mobile application, or if you want to do web development or mobile development, then we need to go with Angular. React is a open source front end library responsible to develop user interfaces. Whenever if you want to develop user interfaces means forms, headers, footers. So that time we need to go for what here? React. Angular supports two-way data binding. React supports one-way data binding. See, many people says Angular is better because it's supporting two-way data binding. So React supports only one-way data binding. It is not like that. React also supports two-way data binding. So we need to follow some approach for that. So that thing we will see in details later. And TypeScript language is used to TypeScript language is used in Angular. It means suppose if you want to learn Angular, compulsory you need to learn TypeScript language. Then only you can work with Angular. But in React, JSX, Java, Script, XML is used in React. So remember that point here. If you want to work with React, or if you want to develop any application in React, if you want to create any project in React, So first we need to learn JSX. If you have knowledge on JSX, then only you can develop React applications. So in Angular TypeScript is used, in React JSX language is used. Next, Angular user, or I can say Angular uses traditional DOM. Traditional DOM. So as I told you in the first video, traditional DOM means every browser is having one DOM who is responsible to execute our HTML documents. So Angular deals with that actual DOM, that traditional DOM. And working with traditional DOM is a very costly to the company, guys. Why? Because see, what DOM will do, DOM will hold elements. So whenever if we add elements or if we remove the elements, and if we do direct operations to the DOM, so definitely it will increase the cost of the company. So that is the reason React came with the concept called virtual DOM. So let me say React uses virtual DOM. Next one. Next is Jasmine and Karma is used as a testing frameworks. Testing frameworks. See, in Angular what we need to do after developing the components, we need to test our code. Not only in Angular, even in React also, same thing is applicable. Means we are developing, we are generating the components. After generating the components, we need to do testing. The testing is known as unit testing. So unit testing means we are checking some piece of code or piece of information, or you can say piece of logic is working as per our requirement or not. That is called unit testing. So to perform unit testing in Angular, we are using Jasmine and Karma. But when it is comes to React, we will use just an enzyme. Just an enzyme is used as a testing frameworks. So remember in the React we are using just an enzyme. These are the two testing framework we will use to test React components. Okay. If our application, or I can say when we should learn Angular and when we should learn React. If your application is a rich featured application and large application, then we need to go with Angular. So let me say if our application is a large and rich featured, then we need to use Angular. And when we should go for React, if we need a single web page development, then we need to go for React. See, this single web page development is also known as SPA, single page application development. So let me write in a proper way, single web page application development, which is also known as SPA. So many people think that SPA we can develop by using Angular. No, SPA even we can develop by using React also. So if your application is very big, large, and it is having lots of features, then you need to go for what here? Angular. No, if you want to develop just a single page application, then we need to go with a React. So I will be giving you one example to you. What is single page application here? So I will do one thing. We have our website here. So qualitythought.in. So let me open this website. So this is the Quality Thought website is there here. So you can find everything here, whatever the details required for to do any IT course like that. So what I want to show you is nothing but assume that if I am clicking on hire from us, if I click on hire from us, you can see there is a cross mark is coming. If cross mark is coming means it is loading the entire web page. Means whenever I am navigating from one page to another page, whenever I am moving from one page to another page, when I am routing from one page to another page, after every click you can see, you can find your page will get reload. You can see this reload you can see. So this is known as what here? This is not a single page web application. Single page web application means we want to navigate from one page to another page without reloading the browser. That is known as single page application. So if you are looking for single page application, so then you need to choose React. And remember, as I told you, many companies are working with React. Let me give you some list of the companies. First, I will give you for Angular. So Angular used by Google, Apple, Nike, McDonald's, and etc. etc. guys. There are many more companies are working with Angular. I am giving few of them. And React used by Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Airbnb, Uber, and etc. etc. guys. So these are the companies are working with Angular, and these are the companies are working with React. So I hope you people understood what are the differences are there between Angular and React. So now assume that when I am going for an interview, so in interviews especially they will ask you how reactjs works. So let me explain how reactjs works. See, React internally uses virtual DOM. So I will give you one example with a diagram so that you can understand easily. So let me open the paint. So what I will do now, here I will create three components. You know, I will create first a header, then I will create a section, and then I will create a footer. Remember, these sections are available in every website. You go and check any website today, you can find these three sections. You can find header, you can find section, you can find footer. For example, you can see the quality thought also. So this is the quality thought website. If I press Ctrl U, so if you press Ctrl U, you can see the source code of this quality thought website. Complete source code I can show to you how they develop this quality thought website. And if you press Ctrl F, you can go and check header. So we will check the header. So you just search here. Yes, you can find here. There is a one tag we are using. Let me zoom Ctrl plus. So whenever I do Ctrl plus, I think again I need to search. Yeah. So here you can find header is there here. Similarly, even we can find the section if you want. You just type section. So see this, there are multiple sections are available. You can see a website can have multiple sections. Even you can find a footer also. So let me search for footer. Yes, you can see here there is a one footer is there here. So in the code we have seen there is a header, section, footer. You go and check any website today. So let me give you one example when designing. So see here, whatever you are seeing here, from here to here, this header, whatever the navigations are there, new batch, services, placements, hire from us, resources, registration, our batches, contact number, quality thought, this is nothing but header. And you come down, I mean whatever you are seeing here, this is one section guys. This photo, paragraph is one section, this is one section, this is one section, and last we have what here, footer. This is last one, we have footer. So same thing I am just showing you, this is the header section, let me write here, assume that this is a header section, header section, and here I am writing a body session. Body means you can write anything or just write a, otherwise I do one thing, instead of section I will just write header, here I will write section, and then last I will write a footer. So I am creating three things, one header, one section, one footer. Assume that these are the three components. See, what is the main purpose of React is nothing but, in React we are not merging all the logics. So what do? We will take one header logic, that header logic we will write in a header component, and we will take one session logic, and that session logic we will add in the session component. Similarly, we will take footer logic, we will keep in the footer component. So later we will call them one after the other. Okay, so that is the concept. Assume that this is my header component, this is my section component, this is my footer component. And what happens, in header I wrote some logic, assume that I wrote some logic. And in section also I wrote some logic, in footer also I wrote some logic. So in section what I wrote welcome to reactjs. Okay, in header I wrote something and footer I wrote something, but in the session I want to focus more. So we wrote welcome to reactjs. So what happens whenever we run this React application directly goes to virtual DOM. It takes the support of virtual DOM guys. So remember, it is not interacting with traditional DOM, actual DOM, it is interacting with virtual DOM. Again virtual DOM, what it will do, it will convert into tree node structure, or you can say DOM tree structure. Some people called tree node structure, some people called DOM tree structure. So those who don't know what is DOM tree structure, you can watch my first video of reactjs. In that video I have shown you how our HTML document will convert to tree node structure, DOM tree node structure, and how it is executing in the browser window. And remember, in this video I am just showing you how virtual DOM is working in React applications guys. So as I told you, first your components will go to the virtual DOM will convert into DOM tree structure. Then that DOM tree structure will execute in the browser window, and we will get the outputs. We will get the outputs in browser window only guys. So how it will be? We have header, assume that we have a header will come on the top. We have a footer will come down, and section will be there in the what here, middle. So header means what here, assume that I am writing something called home logic, about logic, something I am writing, navigation pages. And in the body, in our section, we will get welcome to reactjs. And at last we are writing here @, reserved. We wrote something like here. So this is what happens. So React is not working with actual DOM, React is working with virtual DOM, and virtual DOM will convert to tree structure, DOM tree structure, and that DOM tree structure will execute in browser window, and the output will be visible like this. Assume that if we are performing any changes, here I wrote welcome to reactjs and we got the output. output is displayed. See, we never say display in React, we always need to call render. So whenever we are creating the components, whenever we run those components, then output will be rendered on a browser. So if I do any changes now, assume that I am not telling welcome to reactjs, I am telling welcome to quality thought. Now what happens? So what happens, here one more virtual DOM will be created, guys. Yes, we have two virtual DOMs now. First virtual DOM for first change, second virtual DOM for second change. And now what happens, here comparisons will be done, guys. Comparisons will be done. So this is old virtual DOM. Let me write here, old virtual DOM. This is known as new virtual DOM. So what happens, now both will be compared. New virtual DOM will be compared by old virtual DOM. And here it will be checked. Is there any changes between them? Yes. So whatever the changes are there, those changes will be reflected only to that particular component only. Particular component only means here only section, middle part only will be reloaded. Header will not be reloaded. Footer will not be reloaded. Only what will be loaded? Section component will be reloaded. That is known as single page application. So why React is supporting single page application is nothing but because of virtual DOM. See, we have a Angular, guys. Angular is working with traditional DOM. So what happens in traditional DOM, if you do any changes, so it will represent DOM once again. If I do one change, one time DOM will be represented. If I do second time DOM will be represented. And I told you, if doing the operations directly to the DOM, it is a cost to the company. That is the reason React came with virtual DOM. React came with virtual DOM. So what happens, here virtual DOM will find a efficient way to manipulate in browser DOM, and the output will be rendered only to that component only. That component only will be reloaded, and the output will come quality thought. So I hope you people understood how React is working internally. So here virtual DOM plays a vital role here. So we are dealing with virtual DOM, but virtual DOM internally deals with traditional DOM, actual DOM, browser DOM. So now you can see here, so you can find React is very good when compared to all other front-end technologies. Okay, so this is what I want to show you, how reactjs works internally. And one more thing it is, assume that I want to learn React, because I have given to you the first video. In the first video, I have explained what is React, advantages of React, and now I have seen Angular versus React. Now what we need to do, I will give you what are the knowledges required to learn React, because we need to work with React, so definitely we should have some prerequisite knowledge. So let me give you prerequisite knowledge. Okay, what are the prerequisite knowledge is required now? See, first of all, first one I can say, basic knowledge on HTML, CSS, JavaScript and Bootstrap. These are the minimum knowledges required. Second one, strong knowledge on JSX. Why? Because I told you to develop any React application we required JavaScript, XML. Some people call XML, some people call extension. So strong Java knowledge is required. Without that JSX we cannot develop React applications. Third one, we required npm or npx commands. And one more, fourth one, last is nothing but idea of ES6. ES6 is required. So remember, these are the prerequisition knowledge is required before we learn Java, but don't worry. In the next video, I am going to show you how to use JSX in React, or I can say what is JSX and how to use JSX in React. And even I will be giving you information about npm commands, an idea of ES6. Anyhow, I will give you the basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript and Bootstrap along with React application development only. So all the things we will cover along with React application development only. So this is enough for today, guys. So we'll wait for the next video. If you need more videos, please like and subscribe Quality Thought YouTube channel.